Welcome to Young and Finch, the podcast made by Korean millennials. In this episode, we will be doing part 2 of questions women are too afraid to ask men. Hey guys, this is Andrew. Quick disclaimer, there may be some questions that could be a little inappropriate, but with that said, enjoy this week's episode.
All right, so jumping back into it, we have part 2 of the questions women have for men, but are too afraid to ask. And just like last time, I've prepared the questions, and we've actually gotten some questions from our Instagram as well. So let's just get into it.
Let's just jump in.
I'm down.
All right. So first question: what are the biggest deal breakers for men? And I guess what are the biggest deal breakers for you? Like for us.
I'll go first.
Sure.
Some of the deal breakers. I think this is very subjective as well. But for me, there's like a couple things that I look at. I mean, I think we already discussed this in our dating episode too. But for me, it's like, I wish that person had something going on in their life, like something that they're passionate about. Like I don't want someone that just goes to work, come home, and like does nothing, and just kind of watches Netflix and, you know, like a couch potato kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Also, if they're like not financially smart, like if they're spending, you know,
like
a
reckless.
lot of recklessly and impulsive and things like that, that's a deal breaker for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty common. Like if they're like not nice to other people, like the way they treat others. I guess like the vibe that they trying to provide. I hate people that think like they're the shit, whether it be because they think they're like good looking or, you know, they have a nice ass or they have nice muscles or something like that, and or, you know, they have like a nice job. I don't know. I just don't like to think. Like I just don't like that kind of people that think they're better than others.
Yeah. Like you said, I think that's probably the general consensus. Like baseline, everyone doesn't really like cocky people or like disrespectful people.
Yeah. There's a fine line between being cocky and being confident.
Andrew's skirting that fine line.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that was kind of broad, but I'll let you guys know if something comes up. What about you guys?
Yeah. Was there anything like specific?
Needy people. I'll just add that. Needy people. Yeah.
Needy people. Oh, that's a good one. Okay. All right. Let's see about that. Andrew, what about you?
So I think for me, it depends on the type of relationship I'm going for. I think I mentioned this before
Okay.
in the previous podcast, but I think the general consensus, for me at least, you know, I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, the personality has to match and that's all that matters. No, I think there are some level of superficialness to everyone.
Of course.
So with that said, it doesn't have to be like the person that I'm meeting doesn't have to be, you know, pretty to everyone, right? As long as they're pretty to me in my eyes, then I think that's one thing that, you know, is a plus. And if it's not, like if they're not that attractive to me, then it's like a really kind of like a deal breaker, obviously. Guys have this thing, and I think someone could back me up, but when they look at someone like a girl for the first time, you could kind of decide if you want to be friends with them or take things further in like the first 3 seconds. Right? Like usually, obviously you can't really judge a book by its cover, but I think for guys, physical attraction is the first thing that comes to one's mind and kind of determines if you want to push things further or not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Same with girls too, for sure.
I think girls have a more variety of things that they look for when they first see
Yeah.
But for guys, when they look at girls, it's very, you know, it's pretty much like the face and the body, right? They don't really look at height.
Yeah.
Or like the hair or whatever. It's as long as they're hot kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then they pass the first round. But yeah, and then going forward from that, I do look at personality, right? For me, I really like a girl if she is good at responding to the types of jokes that I make. I guess that you could say that same sense of humor, then it'd be a big plus. If we have like really different senses of humor and different types of interests that we have, then obviously it's
나
one of the
딜브레이커
deal
말하라고 딜브레이커.
아 그래?
Your
미안.
type.
너 뭐 플러스 마이너스야.
캔슬하고. Oh yeah,
Something that you can't live
And
with.
something
bro.
more specific. I mean, like not matching, not like, fitting. I think that's obvious. Like if I'm not attracted to someone, obviously that's a deal breaker. But something more specific where it's like maybe you were attracted and then they did this one thing, like they farted, and then you turned you off.
Okay, yeah. So, in that sense, then I think just communication. When you kind of know when you talk to someone and things are not flowing,
Yeah.
and that's a deal breaker,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, looks, something specific would be just how the person carries a conversation.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with Brian in the financial aspect where they don't really have a sense of value, and they spend whatever they want whenever they want. It kind of goes against my values of money. Yeah, I think that's... Oh, and I don't really like people who do drugs other than something further than marijuana.
Like something harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, like coke and like shrooms. Not down. Even like
Not big-
cigarettes, I'm a little iffy.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like 50-50. How about you, Josh?
I'm trying to think of deal breakers that aren't like inherently obvious. Like I think a lot of it's similar to what you guys said, but for me, someone who isn't respectful, like just baseline respectful to people, I think that's a big one. Like she could be the hottest girl and if she's like being disrespectful to the waiter or our Uber driver or something, I think that's a huge turn off for me. Just having general respect for people that you know or don't know about.
Yeah.
Another big one is ignorance. And I think a lot of people can be ignorant because they don't know. And I think that's fine. Some people just need to be educated. But, especially in the context of race and being racist and prejudice, I think that's a huge turn off for me. I think a lot of Korean people are baseline a little racist. Like most cultures, I think there's some like a bit of racism that exists, but that's a pretty big deal breaker for me.
Yeah. One thing actually that just popped up
Yeah.
in my mind was like, this was like with my ex, and my ex would have the habit of turning on the shower tap, like turning on the shower while she's brushing her teeth.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yo, like just turn off the water and just turn it on when you hop in the shower.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh no, like what are you doing? Like leave me alone. And like we got into like an argument about that.
Maybe she didn't want you to hear her number 2.
Oh.
No, like I was in there with her.
Oh.
And like she was brushing her
never mind.
teeth, and I'm like, why do you have to have the water on? Like,
She just did it to like get it started, right? Like to get it warmed up.
yeah, exactly. But it was already warmed up and like
Yeah.
steaming.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
know.
like, like why?
Yeah.
But that's just the world of girls that I don't understand.
Yeah. No, like I do that too because no one wants to shower in cold water, but like I know what you mean. Like to leave it on for 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
Just constantly going. It's pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
So, what would you guys do if you had a woman over in your house on your bed and she bled on your bed?
Like a nosebleed?
Come on, guys.
Sorry.
Not a nosebleed.
Yeah,
like a paper cut.
I'll be like, oh, let me get you a Band-Aid. Sorry.
What's the relationship?
I mean, just in general, I guess, hookup, like casual relationship or girlfriend. I think just in general, how would you guys deal with it? Or how would you react, I guess?
I think I'll be very cool about it and ask to do the laundry right away.
That's not cool.
No. I'll be like,
You're like, it's fine. I'm just gonna do the laundry. Real
no.
quick. I'm just gonna
I'll be
clean
like,
it up.
I'll be like, oh, it's okay. Like it happens to everyone. And I'd be like, but since I only have one pair of sheet, one pair of sheet, I'll have to, kind of clean it up before something sus happens.
It sets in. Yeah.
So,
No, that's fair.
I mean, I think that's reassuring, and you get the, after steps
True.
put in.
I mean, for me, it's like it's not really their fault from where I look
Oh,
at
of course.
it. It's like you're having sex, and then both of you guys are enjoying it, and afterwards there's blood on your sheets. It's not really her fault or your fault.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the girl would apologize. If they don't apologize, that's kind of fucked up.
They're like, I don't have to say sorry for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think anyone. Well, I mean, maybe. Yeah, actually, that didn't.
I think that's just basic courtesy, isn't it? Even though it's not her fault, I think they should still be like feel sorry about it.
Yeah, like it's like if I nosebleed on my girlfriend's bed sheets, I feel horrible.
But I mean, that's happened to me before. I'm just like, whatever, it's cool. Like, I'll just toss it in the wash and whatever,
Yeah.
It sucks if it's like expensive blankets because sometimes blood, it's hard to, get off. But,
yeah.
If it's someone that you love or if it's your girlfriend, then it's cool, man.
What if it's just casual?
No biggie.
What if you don't love
If it's casual, I'll probably be a little bit annoyed. I'll probably be a bit annoyed.
No, I agree. I think, yeah, if it was like something casual, I think I would be like I'm not gonna call her out on it, but at the same time, I'd kind of be like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Actually,
It's okay.
it is annoying, but I don't think any of us would call them out in the wrong
course.
way, right? It will just be like
of course,
it happens.
Yeah.
But I
I
guess
might crack a couple jokes.
yeah,
about
exactly.
it.
But
Like I'll be like, yeah,
on the inside, maybe you'll be like, oh, a Shiba.
They're like, I'm gonna go have to send this to the CSI to get some blood investigation. Sorry.
what the? Yeah, I mean, it's out of their control, right? It's actually happened to me, and I brought my sheets home to get a wash. My mom's like, "What happened?" I was like, you know the nosebleed vibes.
What the?
Yeah, that's happened to me before. Yeah. It's like copy.
And then it's like, 많이 피곤하구나. I'm like, yeah.
Fiend.
And then she makes it like a fucking miyoku after.
What the? If you want to know how to cook miyoku, tune into our Instagram. We have a reel.
One down.
Hey.
All right, next question.
All right. So the question is, how often do you, men, actually watch porn? And by porn, I mean pornography.
Ooh, like Pornhub.
What's that?
Yeah, so I have different phases, and I think it's like depends on like the week or the month and the situation that I'm in. I feel like if I'm more stressed, I watch it more frequently, like
Okay.
once a day, once in 2 days.
Yeah.
But if it's kind of cruising, if my life is cruising, then it's like once or twice a week, right?
Oh, so your frequency depends on how stressed you are?
Yeah, I kind of use it as a de-stressor.
Okay.
And busting a nut is a good way to de-stress
Yeah.
Yeah.
in general, like whether it be whatever
Yeah.
method you desire.
Exactly. But, these days I don't that much. But again,
So give me a number.
like right now?
Yeah. Like how stressed are you these days?
Well, I was stressed because I was looking for a new job. So
Right.
probably like once a day.
Once a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's normal.
Brian, what about you?
I think every guy has that phase. Like I'm not saying, what Andrew is doing is wrong or anything bad or anything like that, but this is a very like sensitive and personal subject because, like once again, it's also very subjective, and I can't account for everybody and everybody's experience. But for me, I would say since May, I stopped watching porn
Altogether?
altogether, cold turkey.
Wow.
Damn.
Respect.
Yeah. And like you guys heard of like I'm sure every guy has heard of like the benefits of watching porn or not benefits, like the
Benefits of
opposite
not
benefit?
watching porn.
Yeah, benefits of not watching porn. There you go.
Yeah.
And how
There's only one
like
benefit to watching porn.
how like desensitizes your brain and like your perception on real life and real sex, it like distorts it and things like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and I think personally it's been a great decision for me. Like I've gotten, I became more of a man that woman desires because I rather prioritize on having real sex. You know what I mean? Like I rather prefer watching real sex than to have sex with like some random girl on the internet. Yeah, and with your head and things like that. So
I'm down.
But the difference is I don't watch porn, but if I do feel like I need to bust a nut, then I would just like masturbate.
Yeah.
Without porn.
That's the healthier way to do it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just hard. No pun intended. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard in the beginning, but now it's like I'm not interested in like opening up Pornhub anymore.
Yeah.
So I definitely got desensitized to that material.
I think to that point, if you have someone like a partner, then it's a lot easier not to watch porn. But if you're single, like not meeting anyone, then it's like spontaneously,
It's just convenient, right?
Yeah, it's super convenient.
Yeah. And at the core of it, it's selfish, right? It's like you're just like but it is what it is, right? You're just satisfying yourself, and that's it.
Yeah, I just think there's a very dark side to watching porn if you're not very careful about what you're doing.
It's a slippery slope, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I guess just to touch on a general scale, I think often women have this idea that men will watch porn a couple times a week. And like Brian mentioned, obviously it's case by case, but I think generally men will watch porn a little bit more than women think. I think women would be like, oh yeah, he probably watches porn like 3 times a week. You can probably add on a couple more times just to play it safe, I think.
Yeah.
For me personally, I kind of just don't watch that much porn. On average, maybe like once a week, once every 2 weeks or something. Yeah, not super frequent.
I think porn can be good too, though, if you're like learning something. Like it's a good way to discover like new things in different positions and things like that.
That's true. But I mean, you don't need porn for that. You can always use like WikiHow.
Yeah,
it's like how to spice up your life.
What the?
Step 1, light a candle. Step 2, turn on music. Sorry, this isn't one of the questions, but on the flip side, how often do you guys think that women watch porn?
Definitely, I think a lot less.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's for a fact that they watch a lot less. But I mean, when I ask girls, a lot of them either don't watch it or like maybe watched it once or twice in their lifetime.
Yeah, same.
Really?
That's the response I got.
Yeah.
I feel like porn isn't very common with Korean women. Like I feel like Korean women are still kind of sexually not repressed, but aren't at a place where they're comfortable with their sexuality to explore it to that degree. But I have some friends who aren't Korean, and I was actually pretty surprised at how often they watched porn or they masturbated or whatever, right? I think just the idea that I had of like not Korean, but girls watching porn frequently was kind of like mindfuck. I was like, really?
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I didn't ask. Well, I asked mostly of them are Korean, but some are non-Korean as well. And I asked them why, because I was curious. And they told me that they're not, like, I feel like they're not as sexually, they don't have, what's that word? They're not as sexually
driven?
Yeah, they're not, sexually driven as men. They're not as sexually, not sexually aroused. They're not
maybe not
sexually. What the? They're not
like they're not thinking about sex all the time.
Yeah, they're not thinking of sex all the time like guys.
Yeah.
And I feel like they are more focused on other aspects of life than sex, so they're not inclined to watch porn like guys.
No, I agree.
Because guys are a lot more hornier than girls.
Yeah.
Brian, do you agree?
I think so. I mean, definitely girls do have those thoughts too, I'm sure, but it's not as like intense as guys.
Yeah. I do think that maybe it's just the people I've met, but I feel like women are hornier than men. Just not as like
open, like showing, like expressive.
Oh yeah, they're definitely not as open about it, right? They're not like saying like fuck, you know, I haven't I haven't fucked a guy in like 2 days, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
No. I think girls are like, when it comes down to sex, like they can be like fucking wild. But yeah, it's like what you said. They're just not as expressive. That's because I think the society, if they do that, they're looked down upon too, right? It's like for sure they're a hoe if they're talking about like having sex with other guys, things like that.
Yeah, and it's only women who are like very comfortable with themselves, and like comfortable about sharing that are able to express that and like kind of go against that stigma, right?
Yeah.
What's your take on female body hair? And be honest.
Yeah, so this is very personal. Like it's only not very personal as in like I'm sharing my whole background story, but personal as in like this is just for me. I don't really have a lot of hair on my arms or my legs. I was just kind of born that way. So naturally, when I look at girls, I kind of see if a girl has a lot of arm hair, and usually they shave their legs, so it's okay with that. But arms, like, you could kind of tell if they have hair or not, and that's kind of a turn off for me, right? Like even armpits, kind of like eh. So I personally prefer someone that's not hairy.
Me too. I think arm hair is okay for me.
Wait, arm hair as in like forearm hair?
Yeah, forearm hair.
Oh, yeah, but what are you gonna do? You're gonna shave that?
Yeah,
I guess you can get
or
lasered.
I just don't meet them.
Yeah, you got it.
Boo, 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 boo.
You know, forearm hair is okay for me. Leg hair, I prefer shaven. Armpit hair, prefer shaven. And then down there, prefer shaven.
Yeah. What about down there, Andrew?
Down
You
there,
mentioned.
yeah, no, I don't really like hairy, like Forrest Gump. Sorry.
Run, Forrest.
I like
Bro, how you gonna do her like that?
doesn't even have to be shaved, but I prefer shaved. I know, actually shaved. I like shaved. And as for the forearm, okay, if they have a little hair, I think it's okay. But as like very little.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Shaved is nice. I think I used to prefer shaved. Not shaved, like, you know, trimmed, and like no armpit hair and like clean, like, you know, shaven legs and stuff. I think I care less now about like leg hair. I really could care less, so long as so long as it's not like a fucking, like, her legs don't look like a Samoan guy's legs, you know? But yeah, same with armpit hair and even pubic hair. Well, I mean, like down there. I would say I really don't mind hair. So long as it's kind of kept.
Yeah.
And as long as it doesn't smell.
Yeah.
And actually, if we're talking about down there, I actually prefer it when a woman has hair. I think if it's shaven, there's something that's like, and this might sound weird, but like it just seems like it's too clean. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, that could just be me. So I actually, like, I definitely prefer it to have.
That's cool. Everyone has
a
their
bit of
preference, right? There's no right and wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, ladies, it's your body.
Yeah.
Do what you fuck you want to do. Sorry.
Not that. I just want to add,
Oh.
if a girl is hairier than me, I'm not down. I'll just leave it at that.
But you have no hair,
Exactly.
so by default.
I think that's a general consensus
What the-
that guys can, you know, hop on with me. Sorry.
Yeah, especially Asian guys, they have no hair.
Yeah, I guess that could be a point of insecurity for guys if their girl is hairier than they are.
Well, I don't know about that, especially not for me, because I just like clean girls, you know, people who take care of themselves.
The only insecurity I have about hair is not being able to grow a beard, whereas, like, you know, Western people or, you know, non-Asian people can easily grow facial hair.
Yeah.
And then because I can't grow facial hair, you know, Asians always look like they're fucking like 12 years old, even when they're like 30.
Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. So in that aspect, I'm like, oh man, I wish I was able to grow some facial hair, because chicks love facial hair too, you know?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it depends, I think, on the girl. White girls love facial hair. I don't know about
Yeah,
Korean
that's
girls.
true. That's the thing about
It
Asians
depends.
with Asian hair too, and facial hair too. It's like some of them really can't pull it off. You look like some fucking dirty, like, you know, fucking
Like patches on your face.
some ajashi that's like working in the fish market, you know.
I'm down.
Yeah. Actually, on that, I think the one thing that, like, the one type of body hair that I wouldn't like on a woman is a mustache. I think that's, you know, call me old fashioned, but I don't know if I can get.
I don't think
behind that
any
personally.
guys would like a girl with a mustache.
Hey man, you know, like, you know, I'm sure beautiful women can pull it off, but just not for me. Sorry guys.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Can men and women just be friends?
Yes.
No.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
I'd say yes.
Explain.
I would say yes. I'm gonna say yes and no actually because
What the? No, you
no.
gotta say
Let me
yes
explain.
or no.
Let me explain.
Or explain.
So I say yes and no because okay, so if you have a friend that's on the opposite sex and you personally don't think this is what I heard from another person, like a friend of mine, and she said there has to be one person that likes or like low key likes someone to make the like friendship work. So that's what I mean by yes and no. Like one person could not like the other person, but the other person could like the one person. They might not know it, and they might just say that it's friendship.
So then that's no, because it's not just friendship for one party.
All right, true. Then
It's not just platonic.
yeah, okay, then no, then. But
Yeah.
I say yes at the same time. Sorry.
What the?
I think Andrew has, like, Andrew's right, because I think when a guy and a girl meets, unless there's like absolutely no like attraction, then you guys can definitely be friends.
Mm-hmm.
But if there is like a little bit of spark and interest, then one or the other person will eventually like kind of push for it. But then if it doesn't work out and both are in an agreement that, you know, things gonna happen, then you can be friends. But I think as long as there is some kind of interest in like either of the party, then there's a good chance then it's gonna become more than just friends.
So you're saying no?
I'm saying no and yes because
What the?
they both have to be in a mutual agreement that nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, like Josh, let's say you have a friend that's a girl and you don't know that she likes you, then you're gonna say yes because you think that you guys are friends.
Yeah, but you guys are also saying it's possible for women and men just to be friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, so once they get through that initial like attraction phase, then both of them can just be friends and be flat.
Throughout the entire life of their friendship, just friends.
Yeah.
I think that I don't think that's possible because if
That's why I said no.
We're talking friends, right? We're not talking acquaintances. So if I'm
friend.
opening up to a friend and I'm being vulnerable, I'm spending time with this friend, and I'm talking to her, I'm getting to know her, whether or not I'm attracted to her at the beginning, eventually there's going to be some point where one party will intersect. I think that's inevitable. So I don't think it's possible for guys and girls just to be friends, to be in like a close friendship and just be friends, just be platonic. I don't think it's possible.
No, I agree with you, Josh. And that's why I said no.
But then you guys are also
But-
saying that it's possible for them to just be friends. But my argument
Yeah,
is
well,
I don't think
if
that's
if
possible.
if no one intersects, then but I guess you're saying
But like,
someone will
someone's gonna
intersect.
feel something is my point.
True.
Like it can never just be platonic.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I think
No, but like you could have an interest in the beginning, and that interest could completely die off and just be friends.
Right,
maybe.
that's true.
You don't have to always have that interest after. It's like I might have an interest about this girl this week, but then I might not have any interest in her next week, and we could just still be friends and, you know, go out and
Yeah,
have food together and still just be friends.
yeah, I agree with Brian there too. That's why I think yes and no.
So
So Josh, you're saying that you can't have any female friends?
no,
in your circle?
but you know what? Actually, now that I think about, like, I do have friends that I could never think about. But again, it can be one party, right? I don't know if it's the other side but like I have friends that
both sides has to be 100% clear that they're
no,
not.
but whether or not
interested.
you're clear about that, or
Intimately.
whether or not you verbally clear about that, or if you're just feeling it, that's different, right?
But that takes time.
But that's what I'm saying.
You'll get to know that time. You'll get to know that over time. It's not gonna happen
Yeah.
instantly. But
That's what I'm saying, though. It's like, I think it's impossible for two people that is male and female to never feel just platonic.
Okay, well, in
Like, it
that
doesn't mean you have
sense,
to act on that feeling, but that feeling of attraction.
But like, let's say you have that attraction feeling, and you don't act upon it.
Yeah.
Isn't that still friendship?
Yeah. True.
Like, let's say it's not as strong as you think, right? The feeling, it's like a very little. Oh, like maybe this girl seems a little interesting, right?
Yeah.
But then you don't want to ruin the friendship, so you don't act upon it.
True.
So I mean, wouldn't that be still friendship?
Yeah, I guess so.
So
It depends
No,
on the
but
case. I
I
suppose.
agree with both of you guys at this point. So I don't think
Yeah.
there's a like right or wrong answer.
So in conclusion,
Yes and no.
just stay friends, guys. Sorry. I guess this is more personal for us. How hard do you stalk women on social media pages?
Like I'm in the CIA. No, I'm gonna be honest. I stalk a lot. I
Yeah.
have like ways to find people that don't know me, but I know them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's kind of creepy, but I think I'm not scared to say because I feel like a lot of people do what I do, and I do ask people, and they say they do it. So
Yeah.
and I
But
thought,
how hard?
yeah, right. So I thought I was very, like, I go in the stalking mode, like deep end.
Yeah.
Like I have like a list of people.
Full
What
CIA
the-
mode.
No, but like it's like
Like a hit list?
yeah, like a hit list that I'm interested in in the GTA area. Check them that week. No, I would say I do. I mean, I stalk up quite a bit. I won't say I don't stalk.
Mm.
Yeah. You just go on discovery list and you see people and it's like, oh, they're pretty cute, and then kind of look into their photos if they're public.
True.
Yeah. I think everyone stalks when they need to.
Yeah.
For example, when I'm going on a date on Tinder and I want to like maybe find out more about this girl, then I might just pull up her name on Facebook and see what I can find and things like that.
Yeah, Instagram, if it's not connected. I wouldn't say that's stalking, though. That's almost just like background check.
Yeah, like digging for
just-
more information.
Or just to check to make sure that like she looks like what she looks like on her profile. Like she's not a
Yeah.
catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And see what kind of things she posted and is interested. So it's very interesting because that can be a little too revealing. Like even if you never met that person and that person knows a bit more about you. But that's what social media is, right? You have to be open to the idea of people like looking into you and finding out who you are and things like that. So that's why you got to be very careful about what you post. But
Yeah,
That's true.
true.
Yeah, it's like you're on the date and she's like, I play tennis, and you're like, yeah, I know.
yeah,
She's like, how do you know?
You don't say I know. You'd be like, you pretend to not know and be like, oh, like, what do you play? Like, how long did you play for? Sorry. And you know that they play for like 3 years. I'm like, I'm down.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why a lot of people stay private, right?
Yeah. But to that point, I don't think a lot of people care.
That's true
But,
too.
case by case.
Yeah, I think I'm like around the same. I just like I don't stalk hard though. It's only like when I'm like about to meet them or something, I'll do a quick background check,
yeah,
see their pictures. I usually I don't go too deep, but sometimes if I'm into them, I'll go back to like 2000 fucking 15 or whatever, but
I'm down.
but like it's also a slippery slope, I think like social media is constructed in kind of a way where it's so easy and everyone's so accessible, but to Brian's point, I think a lot of sometimes it's good to have a bit more self-control. Leave things. I think so. I sometimes it's nice to leave things to like the actual conversation and to the actual interaction, right? So it's not like you're not going in with a certain idea or certain like knowledge of who they are, but
true.
They're kind of like a fresh canvas.
Yeah,
And I think that can be good to leave like a good impression as opposed to like walking in with kind of like a predisposed idea, because everyone on social media posts about their best self.
yeah,
So in a way, it can also be disappointing if you meet them and it's like, well, you looked a lot hotter
yeah.
or a lot more interesting on
But
social
that's
media.
kind of
you know
their
what I mean?
fault, right? If they, give you a false perception, then
For sure.
you have what do you have to believe, except if you don't know them personally.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's on you. It would be on the person doing that.
No, for sure. But it just opens up the opportunity to kind of have a more genuine engagement, right? Interaction.
True.
Question is, why do men ghost? And do you ghost?
Oh.
I don't ghost.
Yeah, me neither.
I think ghosting is very irresponsible and waste of time.
I think men ghost because they don't know the right way to end off the relationship.
Yeah. And it's easier, right? It's easier just to stop
Yeah.
and disappear.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever ghosted?
Oh, yeah.
Really? So you just cut them cold turkey? You're just like,
Yeah.
peace.
Yep.
I don't think I have.
Damn. That's cold.
Yeah. But like I said, because I didn't know,
how else to end it?
Yeah, how else to do it. Now
True.
it'd be different. I'd give like a more formal like closure. But back then, whatever, like you didn't really think about that person's feelings and things like that too. So
It was like probably like a casual thing, right?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just casual.
Yeah, I'm the type to, I can't ghost. Like, even if it's just like a simple text, like I feel like I have to be clear about that. Even if it's casual, it could just be like honestly, it could just be like a one-time thing, or actually, if it's a one-time thing, there's no point because it's mutual. But if it's kind of like a casual thing, I think even I just got to be like, hey, like I'm not feeling it, or like, hey, nah,
Yeah.
Have you guys ever got ghosted on?
Yes.
I feel like chicks ghost
I
more than
think so,
guys
too.
do, actually.
I've been ghosted, but it doesn't really matter because it was just like a fling, nothing
Yeah.
serious. Yeah, just casual.
Yeah. All right, so these questions are from our Instagram. All right, so tits or ass? 편하네.
Why not both? Sorry.
If you have to choose one.
I'm an ass type.
I'm also an ass type.
I'm a tits.
You can't have
Tits guy.
tits and have like no fucking ass. That's just weird.
You can.
Yeah, I guess you can.
Anything's possible,
Yeah,
Brian.
anything.
If you believe,
Yeah.
you can
true.
achieve.
I don't want to like categorize anyone, but
Yeah.
that's just my personal
think-
preference.
For me, I definitely was more of a tits guy. I think generally guys are more attracted and infatuated by breasts when they're younger, and then I think as you grow older, this is a bit of like the, what is it? Kind of like the hunter-gatherer mindset, where it's like, cavemen looked at women with wider hips because they were more suitable for childbearing, right? So there's a bit of biological and like historical reinforcement to, I guess, why guys like women with broader hips.
But hips ain't ass.
Well, I mean, hips are part of the ass, right? The wider the hips, the wider the ass.
What are the ass crack?
Part of it, but I think you could have hips but no ass at the same time.
Like you're just like from the front view, you're like wide hips, but on the back.
Yeah, like I could give you an example. A celebrity. She doesn't have like a big ass, but she has nice hips. Kang Min-kyung. Like she has a nice, like petite,
I think she has a nice ass.
Yeah, the shape of it because of her hips.
Yeah.
So Andrew's tits, I'm ass, Josh's ass. There you go.
All right, next question. Do boys get butterflies?
Oh yeah.
Really? I feel like I don't get them anymore.
I mean, when you go on a first date and before you meet them, you don't get them.
I don't know. I think maybe I'm just kind of more, I just gotten jaded. I'm just kind of like, yeah, like we're suitable, or like, yeah, she's hot, or like, I don't get the butterflies like, I'm nervy,
That's not that serious, but you still get a little bit of nervousness and like, things like that. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I do.
I get it when I am going on a first date, like right before I meet them.
Yeah.
Like
I
5-10
get
minutes.
nervous before the first date, before the first kiss, before the first like sex,
What a nervous boy.
and then yeah, I still get butterflies, which I think is a
or,
good
like, what if,
thing
like,
because
girl
that
says-
means you're like still attracted and you want to like, look good for that person. You want to put the best version of yourself out there, because if you don't have that
No, for
feeling
sure.
anymore, that means that things have just kind of cooled down a little bit.
He's calling you out, Josh. Sorry.
No, I'm not calling you out. It's just That's just what I think.
Honestly,
Yeah. I see what you're saying though. It's like, but I think that butterfly is like when you are like experience it for the first time, you know? Like I think with some of my exes, I've definitely felt butterflies.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's just kind of like first kiss, it's a kiss. I mean, obviously the person is probably special and the person means a lot, but that butterfly of like getting that kiss, I don't think that that's there anymore because it's kind of just like
True.
that's just part of it, you know?
오, 상남자인데?
Oh, what a cold
Nah,
heart boy.
you just kind of stop getting them at one point, I feel like. But who knows? Maybe I'll have to meet the right one that'll give me butterflies, right? You never know.
Yeah, bro. Come on. Sorry.
Dabia, sorry.
What the?
Next.
Okay.
All right, next question.
Next question. Oh, this is a good one. How needy is too needy?
Oh,
Where's the line for you guys?
it's kind of subjective, but
All these questions are subjective.
Too needy is when the girl texts you and you're genuinely busy and you don't text that girl for like, let's say 3-4 hours. And then you're like, okay, like, sorry, I was busy with work or whatever. And then that girl's like, what do you mean you're busy for work? Like, you know, like you should be like texting me like instantly or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a rare case,
That sounds horrible.
but that is something I don't fuck with.
yeah, I think to add to Brian's point, if the girl is your first priority, if the girl makes you the first priority and everything else secondary, then that's kind of needy. Like they expect you to be your first priority. But like let's say you have other shit going on, right?
Yeah.
If it's like equal level first priority, so like let's say you're trying to work on a side project, you know, learning new skills and whatnot, and your girl is on that same level of priorityness, then I think it's okay. And if the girl understands that, it's okay. But if the girl expects you to be putting herself on top of everything else, like texting and like calling and meeting them and whatnot, then I feel like that's very, you know, it's kind of going over the limit.
Yeah. I agree. I think the calling is especially hard for me. Like texting is like whatever, you know, like texting takes like 2 seconds. Usually I can find some time in between anyways, but I think the calling is a little bit it can get a bit excessive, you know? Like, you know, calling a couple times a week if you're not able to see them, especially now during COVID, I think that's more than fine. But, you know, if you're calling multiple times a day, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like I think the big thing is when you don't really, it's not that you always have to have something to talk about, but when you're calling for, you know, like when you call for the sake of calling and you're not really talking either, it's kind of just like,
because you're just bored.
Exactly. Like I think that's the big difference. I think when you're trying to kill time or spend time, I guess, not kill time, but when you're spending time with the other person on the phone or whatever, just for the sake of it, I think that can be a little bit too much, especially if you have shit to do or if they have shit to do, right?
No, I agree. That's the exact reason why I hate girls that are like potato couch. Because they don't have their couch potato
chip.
But that's exactly why, because they have nothing else to do and they're probably going to be like relying on you to like provide entertainment.
Yeah. What about neediness? Not in like a communication kind of way, but more in kind of like a in person, like needs you to do things or.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah, I hate that too.
Yeah, that's a red flag.
Because neediness can be multiple. Yeah,
if they expect you to do shit for them, and then you don't, like, it has to come naturally. I think.
Yeah.
I think the person should want to do it, but if the other person expects you to do it, then you don't really want to do it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a red flag. I think it should be natural, and yeah.
I think for me, it's like I prefer girls that are independent and are able to, like, their first reaction to like a problem is trying to figure it out themselves first. And then if they can't do it, then, you know, I might be able to like step in and be able to help like figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're always like, oh, can you do this? Can you do this? Like, can you do this? Like, if they don't have that ability to be independent and be able to figure it out on their own first.
Yeah.
That's a, I guess, a deal breaker that you could add in the beginning.
Yeah.
of the episode. Like if it's like lifting something heavy, like if it's something physical, yeah, like 100%, like I'll be able to help.
Yeah.
But there's like other shit out there too in the world.
Oh, muscle boy in there.
I think I think that's, you can't argue that. Like guys can generally lift more. Not every girl, but guys are generally. It's like what you said about the what do you call those? The back in the days, in the caveman days, like guys were the hunters and girls were like, that's because we're genetically more stronger.
Okay.
Anyways, you get the point. You get the,
So what's the
vibe.
Just digging yourself up.
You get
I was
the
like,
vibes.
where are we going with this?
Yeah. So you're saying we're better, or like what's up?
I'm just saying we're genetically, physically stronger.
Oh, visible.
I'm sure there's girls out there that are working out and stronger than me.
No, I mean, like, what's the point in the question?
The point is, like, if they ask me to maybe like bring the groceries in from the grocery store or help me lift the bed to like the bedroom.
Yeah.
Like that's not being needy. You're saying.
Yeah, that's not being needy because I'll do
Yeah,
stuff,
I mean, I think that goes to one of my points where you kind of, if they're your girlfriend, you want to help them carry groceries because they don't have the same physical strength as guys, right? And then you see them struggle, then you would want to help. But it's like, let's say like they buy the groceries and it's in their car and they just open the door and look at you, expecting you to do it for them. Then that's kind of like, fuck you, bitch, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's some simp action.
Yeah, that's like,
Yeah.
I think that's the difference.
Yeah. I just want to add in, I just thought about this. The one thing I don't like, I really, and I think this happens a lot, is women who are needy, acknowledge they're needy, and then try not to be needy by being not available. You know what I mean? Where they're like, it's like they were like pretty persistent and like pretty, like they like reached out a lot for like a couple days and then they just like go cold. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, they're playing games.
Kind of. Yeah, like I really like I feel like I've noticed that a couple times with people, and that's one thing I really don't like.
Me too. I don't got time for that shit.
I mean,
It's like it's hard though, but it's like being needy is hard, but then also like don't try to like be avoidant to avoid being, you know what I mean? It's like it's kind of hard.
they're just being
I know
faker.
what you mean.
I'm down.
I'm not down.
Yeah. I mean, there's that thing too, right? Girls expect to be treated like queens.
Yeah, that's kind of.
But then they don't treat the guys as kings too. Like it goes both ways,
Yeah, it always goes both ways.
Yeah. If you want to be treated like a king, then treat your guy like a king.
I want to be treated like a queen.
I want to be treated like a queen. I want to be treated like a princess. Sorry. I'm down. Give me my jewels. My ice.
Oh no.
Like ice
Alright,
trays.
next question,
Sorry.
next
Alright, next question.
What is your love language?
I could start. Yeah, mine's pretty simple. I don't have, like, I'm not really good at expressing myself through like talking or body language,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I express my love in terms of physical, like, presence or like action, right? Action as in like doing the dishes, for instance, or like
So
carrying
acts
shit
of
for them.
service.
Yeah, acts of services. I
And
think
what was the other one?
and just like buying shit for them.
So
like
gifts.
food, yeah, not so much gifts, but I think just food, like, yeah, I guess gifts too.
Yeah. I don't think gifts mean actual presents. It's kind of like by treating them.
Yeah,
and,
treating
like
them.
spoiling them with like physical things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Brian, what about you?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I'm like a very like emotionally expressive person. Like I don't say like I love you and things like that all the time. Like, oh hey baby, like those
Yeah.
How about
words.
little baby?
But definitely those are things that I have to improve on and practice, because I think that's very important. Like your words of affirmation, also what Andrew said, the physical and touching and things like that is very important.
Andrew didn't say that.
I didn't say that.
Like being there and showing through actions. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what he said. Showing through
Well,
actions.
acts of services, but okay.
Yeah, like that encompasses like all those things.
physical touch is a different one.
Yeah, I'm not good at physical touch.
Well, fine. Physical touch too. Physical touch.
So which one is it?
So words, physical touch.
Well, they said you don't do words though.
I don't do it, but that's something I should do it
No, so
and
like
improve on.
what are your love languages?
Yeah.
Like
so
how do you
words,
express love to people? Like to a girlfriend or something like that.
So yeah, words, action,
So you do use words.
and touch. I do use words, but I think it could be better.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think words, action, and physical,
Like services or like touch.
and just I think just being there for that person too. Just being their best friend, just listening to their problems and just kind of being their support.
So there's 5 love languages that you choose from. I don't know. Didn't I share this with you guys? You choose from the
What?
5. There's like acts of service, quality time, physical touch, gifts, and words of affirmation. So it's between those.
Yeah,
those 5.
it's pretty explanatory. So definitely all those things are important.
No, so typically people have more, like they're stronger on certain love languages and how they express it. So between those 5, what would be your love languages that you predominantly
my
show?
strongest?
Yeah.
Probably quality of time then. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Mine would be
I mean,
quality
it's hard
time.
to categorize just one. I think I'm decent
Yeah.
in all areas, you know what I'm saying? Sorry.
Nah, what is it? Dirty, well-rounded boy.
I'm down.
Nah, I'm kidding. Relationships are hard.
All right. Last question, guys. When going on dates, how do you guys feel about constantly Dutch paying? And Dutch paying, for those of you who don't know, just means splitting the bill evenly.
I mean, I think it's great, but it's not expected on a first date based on social values.
But what about your values?
So I think I would be down to do it, obviously, but I'm not comfortable doing it.
Like you're not
Because-
comfortable with...
Yeah, I don't think
Making-
I'd be. Yeah, I don't think I'd be comfortable asking, first of all. And yeah, I think it's the asking portion, because I don't want to, especially on a first date, you don't want to look bad in any way. And I
Yeah.
think asking that kind of unintentionally, has that perspective of, oh, this guy's like not paying for a first date. What's wrong with this dude, right? Because it's expected based on social values, right?
But what about not first
Yeah.
date? What about just dates in general?
Yeah, even in dates in general, I think it should be one person pays for one thing and then the next person pays for the next. It's not so
Sure.
much the Dutch pay, but
Sure.
it's like
Yeah.
how many times. So like, let's say I have a girlfriend and I go on a date. Maybe I'll buy the dinner and she could buy the dessert. And then the next date she could buy the dinner and I could buy the dessert. Kind
Yeah.
of like, but like as for the dollar amount, I don't think it matters that much.
So you'd prefer not to Dutch
Yeah.
pay?
So I prefer not to Dutch pay. Just make it like clean.
Yeah.
True.
And not be like, that guy that
Like,
has
so-
every
like,
cent behind
Tozane?
the, yeah. I don't know what that
Yeah.
is in English. Like being
Uh,
cheap.
Like penny pincher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or what? Yeah.
Like
True.
keeping track.
yeah. I don't like to keep track of dollars and cents.
Brian, what about you?
No, I agree. I think Andrew nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe the
not
first couple dates we could do Dutch
Yeah.
pay, but after that, if it gets serious, then like I wouldn't mind.
Fuck it.
Really, I
Go
think
back
it'd
and
be
The opposite.
like the opposite.
I don't know. I mean,
I mean, it depends, I guess.
because as long as like the concept of Dutch paying is like if this is some person that I could like invest my time in and actually get to grow and get to know that person, then like I
Then you
wouldn't
don't
mind
care.
paying. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind paying. But if it's just like the first couple dates where I don't even know this person and maybe she's just out here to trying to get a free meal out of me,
That's true.
So it's like until she earns that trust and like value, then I wouldn't mind going Dutch pay a couple times. But
True.
But I don't know. I agree with Andrew too a little bit, like for the most part too. Yeah, it can go both ways.
I'm actually gonna disagree. I prefer Dutch pays. It's just easier, you know. It's not about, but like for me, like I do still have the thing where like I want to treat, right, and I will pay for meals. But I think if we can go 70% of the time we go out for dates and stuff like that or whatever, we Dutch. I just think it's easier. You know, it's not like it's. I think it's for me. It would be perfect if my partner or who I was on a date with was on the same page. It's just kind of like it's not personal. It's not like I'm not trying to penny pinch. It's just like let's just split everything. And then sometimes for like date nights and stuff, like of course I'll definitely treat. But I think Dutch is just simple. It's clean. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's, you know, I'm more than happy to have my partner or the other person, you know, pay for their food. Like that's fine with me. I think they can, if they can afford it, they can pay for it, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do this with friends as well. I don't really, you know, I think when I was in university, I was a little bit of a penny pincher.
Yeah.
Keeping track of like who owes me what I owe. But nowadays it's like I'll buy for my friends food once and then next time they could buy me food kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's obviously
True.
goes both ways. We're in terms of the dollar amounts, right? You're gonna be
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. It's because you know that your friends are, you know, not out here to get like a free meal. Like they have earned that trust.
right.
Yeah.
And so it's like you don't mind spending money on, like for me, it's like I don't mind spending money on like my family or my friends,
Of course. Yeah.
because what's the point of having all this money if you're not going to spend it on people that like you value
sure.
and care? So,
Yeah.
but okay.
I actually Dutch pay with friends too. I mean, with you guys, I think, you know, we'll do like rounds or like I'll buy this time, you buy next time kind of thing. And like, that's cool too. But
Yeah.
with like a lot of my other friends, it's always evenly split based on what they got. Like it's
Yeah.
super clean. It's just, it avoids any potential issue. Cause
Yeah.
I don't care, but
Yeah.
someone might be like, oh, but I paid more, or I ate more, or I ate less or whatever. So it just avoids any
True.
gray areas. But
I
like
see that
Brian
too.
said, with family, no questions. I'm not Dutch paying with my parents or my brother, you know, like fuck that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right. And that wraps it up, boys.
All right, guys. If you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to smash that like button. Follow us on Instagram at The Young and Finch.
Yeah. That's The Young and Finch. YOUNG. The Young
Yeah.
and Finch.
I think on Spotify, you can now add us to a playlist. So be sure to add The Young and Finch to your playlists. Thanks for reaching out, guys. We've been getting a lot of good feedback. Been connecting and talking to a lot of cool people. So can't wait to talk to more of you.
Keep the DMs coming. We appreciate your feedback and questions. And hope you guys have a fantastic week.
Fantastic.
See you guys next time.